That's fucking delightful.
Hello and welcome to the ROKER RAPPORT podcast in association with Sunderland Community Soup Kitchen. My name's Rich Spate and I'm joined down the line from Dublin by Michael Dunn. How are you this afternoon, Mike?
Rich, it's a bloody Good Friday now. I feel like breaking all Catholic traditions now and having a beer. I'll just go to confession tomorrow after that.
Oh, it's certainly worth it. I'm sure he'd forgive you. And and we're also joined from the northeast by Ant Waterson. How are you, mate?
Yeah, mate, really good. I mean, that 3 points has made me feel a little bit better, personally. I've had my second vaccine yesterday and I really don't feel very well, but watching that has cheered us up no end, so we'll go on.
Fantastic, yeah. I think a few people are struggling after the vaccine, but hopefully it'll be worth it in the long run for everyone. And great result today, as you said, 3-1 to Sunderland against Oxford United at home. I mean, overall, I don't think anyone can complain with the scoreline, but God, it was hairy for a while there, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, especially the first half. I mean, we started brightly, but I think Oxford got on top there. They had a really high kind of aggressive press and they were in our faces and we were kind of struggling to string passes together coming out from the back especially. I think I said in the WhatsApp group, I think Shadipo, the winger there, was excellent for them today. He really threatened from the start. But I think the game kind of changed in that red card in the second half for Sykes. We definitely came into it then. We showed more urgency, and the likes of Jones especially was outstanding second half along with Gooch, and we well deserved the win in the end.
Yeah, I thought we definitely deserved winners, but I was nervous in the first half given their goal on 20 minutes was really well taken, wasn't it? I mean, they broke away and swept the ball out to the right, and the lads, Henry, got that great striking on goal. Were you expecting it to be a tough afternoon after that, Ant?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean the goal itself, I think it was Max Power let their midfielder get away. You just take the yellow card there, you know what I mean? I was a little bit disappointed with Power for that, but it's a nice finish, it was a nice goal, and to be honest, on the basis of the game, Oxford did deserve that. It was coming. We were a little bit sloppy, a little bit slow. I'm not sure Linda Gooch in the 10 was working, no. To be honest. So I was kind of, up until and including the goal, thinking, why is O'Brien and Winchester not playing in this game? But, they took it well, and they, as Mike just said there, they were very, very good with the press. The wingers caused us all sorts of problems. So on basis of it, they probably deserved to be 1-0 up, and we did well to fight back and, take all three at the end.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a decent fight back by Sunderland in that first half. We came into it more, I think, probably from like about 35, 40 minutes. We started to get back in the game, and then it was a touch of genius from Jordan Jones on the right wing, brought down a lovely diag from Luke O'Nien, skinned his man, nutmegged the defender in the middle and picked out Gooch, who prodded home just before half-time. And I have to say, I think if we hadn't gone in at 1-1, I think it would have been a bit more of a struggle in the second half. But as you mentioned, Mike, the second half we did come on a lot stronger, and then there was that kind of pivotal moment, wasn't there, of the red card. The game was really loose at that point. It seemed to be going from end to end. Did you think he was a bit unfortunate to get that second yellow?
I think who was fortunate was Luke O'Nien with the bad touch. I was like, shit, he's giving this away right in the box. I was expecting someone to come in and just shoot and score, but no, it was definitely a red card. I like, from what I can gather, it was 2-footed, like it was fairly high as well. I think it was definitely a red card. And I don't know what Carl Robinson was going on one then after that as well. He got sent off too, so I don't know if he was aggrieved about that or something else, but there seemed to be a few things that he wasn't happy about. But on the red card, no, it was certainly a red card. And I think on that moment, the game changed. We seemed to get more urgency. And we got our kind of big players into the game, the likes of McGeady as well. And we started creating a lot of chances. But no, it was definitely a red card.
Yeah, it was a straight red for me. It was his second yellow because he got boot in the first half. But I thought it was a straight red. I thought it was a really, really bad tackle.
Dangerous.
It was a poor touch by Luke O'Nien. And obviously in the box... Yeah. If he doesn't go in for that, the player, if he doesn't go in for that, he's going to get criticised off his manager for not, for maybe backing out the tackles. But you can't do that now. You can't do that.
Yeah.
If you miss the ball there and you catch the player, you're asking for trouble there. For me, I thought, like I say, I thought it was a straight red. That was a really bad tackle, but luckily enough, Luke's not injured and got away with a bit of a slack touch, so we'll tap that one.
Well, yeah, I mean, my initial reaction was that he'd gone in 2-footed and it could have been a straight red. When I say a bit unfortunate, it was because of that the poor touch from O'Nien. He was kind of he had to lunge in for the ball 3 yards out. If he'd made connection with the ball and not the man, he might have prodded it in the same way, I guess, as Gooch did in the first half. But we came on a lot stronger than that, as you say. They made a triple substitution, but before that, we were really coming on strong. And then after loads of pressure from Sunderland, we got ourselves ahead on 81 minutes. Great play from Lyndon Gooch, actually, to set up that second goal from Aidan McGeady when he cut it back. A super bit of play, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, and Gooch had a really poor first half, but he was outstanding second half when we took McLaughlin off and put Gooch into the kind of full back row, wing back row, and he was just getting so much joy in that wing, and he was doing what he's good at. And I think what all Sunderland fans get frustrated with is that is what he's really good at. We just want to see it more and more from him. We just don't see it enough. But he was really good second half, and a little mazy run into the box, cut it back for McGeady, and a typical McGeady finish, slotted it into the corner. It was a really good finish, yeah. And I think from then on, I kind of felt comfortable because we were just attack after attack. We were getting on top of them up until the last couple of moments there. It was a bit hairy at the end before we got the third goal.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't feel comfortable. Even when we were 2-1 up and they had 10 men, I was as nervous as I've been all season. Those last 10 minutes seemed to go by so slowly. But in the end, there was a 2-minute period, wasn't there, Ant, where the game, the result was won, and I think Luke O'Nien played a key part in that, don't you think?
Yeah, it was absolutely superb from Luke O'Nien. Defensively, I mean, it was a great ball in by it was one of their subs who come on. He looked absolutely dynamite, didn't he, from Oxford?
Yeah.
And he put it. It was a beautiful ball, and I was just expecting the net to bulge, and then up flies Luke O'Nien like Superman, heads it behind for a corner, and then obviously from that we go on and score the third. I mean, it's just that clearance means so as much as Max Power's goal, doesn't it? It was superb, and he's come under a little bit of criticism, Luke O'Nien, for playing, at centre half, being at fault for a couple of goals. I thought the Lincoln game, I thought he was at fault for that, but today it just shows there what he's willing to put on the line for the team there. Because that was just superb. Last ditch defending and absolutely magnificent. And who'd you expect it from more than Luke O'Nien? Though he was the one player you expect to do that. He did,
Yeah.
and he was absolutely superb.
Yeah. A little bit a note on the formation today, lads, and the lineup. I mean, the formation, it was 4-4-2. I think there was a few different permutations possible when the team sheet was announced. The big thing I think was touched on earlier was Lyndon Gooch in that 10 position. It didn't seem to work. I don't know who wants to come in on this, but it didn't seem to work.
And I don't think Gooch is a 10 really. I don't think it suits him really for his kind of game. As I was just saying earlier on, I think when he's going at defenders like fullbacks, that's where he's good at. We needed someone in there who can link the play, someone like O'Brien, even maybe Chris Maguire. I actually thought he was going to start today after his performances through the week for the reserves. So yeah, it didn't work. And I also, just on another note I pointed down was in the first half especially, I thought we kind of isolated McFadzean there in the wing. Shadipo was absolutely killing him. McGeady was giving him no support, and I thought Johnson might have changed that as the game went on. And he didn't do anything really about it, I thought, which was kind of surprising. But the formation, it kind of worked. He kind of evened itself out with some of the changes he made as well, the subs for Johnson, which probably balances it out.
Yeah, I mean, he was fluid, wasn't he? He brought Stewart on, who looked much better in that position. Like, you could link up a bit better, and actually Gooch, as you say, marauding down the right in the end was the thing that won us the game. And I think it's certainly a game of two halves. I think in the first half we must have only had a couple of shots on on their goal. But by the end of the game, we'd had 13 shots on goal and 6 on target, and were probably deserved winners of the match. Let's have a look at some of the 3-word reviews we've got on our Twitter. Lots of celebration going on, which is really nice to see. Jonathan is there saying, and I think this reflects how I felt right at the end of the game, which is absolutely fucking glorious. Maybe not as a performance, but as a result. As a result, and we will come on to the other results as well, but as a result, that was so necessary. James Tweedle echoes that, absolutely fucking buzzing. Phil SAFC says, sign Jones and Sanderson. I'm not sure we're going to get either of them.
It's
but you never
words,
know.
Phil.
That's
Come
4
on.
words.
It is. Well, it was a symbol. It was an and sign. And then we've got Jason Beattie, fucking tunes on. Absolutely. Next up, Peterborough says JC95, grinding out results. Says Colin Armour, massive comeback victory. Says Mark Koopmans, Jordan Pardykes, Jordan Jones goated. Let's skip down a little bit further down. Evan Lloyd says Sunderland winning machine. We've got Spencer Davidson, Daddy Jordan Jones. We've got Jean Gill, beat Portsmouth promotion. It does bring us on to the other results. I think before we go into the player ratings, it's probably best to note that late goals from Peterborough and Hull won them both their games. We are on 70 points after 37 games. Peterborough on 72 after 38 games, and Hull on 73 after 39. So we're still in our own hands. Obviously, we've still got to play both of them. But has that given you a little bit even more confidence, Ant, that we're gonna be able to keep this winning run going? Because the form is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there was a good point brought up there in the 3-word review. Winning, like, we won from behind, which we've really struggled to do it, even in any League One game, under 3 managers, and it was good to see that today. With obviously, I mean, I think we can all agree Oxford were probably the better team in the first half, but then when we've scored, completely the right time to score. It's always the best time just before half time, and we've gone in the second half, and even before the red card, I thought we were looking the better side, and that's a huge 3 points again. We look at Hull and Peterborough have got last minute goals, but listen, this is going to happen. Hull and Peterborough are good sides, and we just need to focus on our results. If we keep this form up, we're going to go up. The games in hand are crucial for us. I mean, I wouldn't be aggrieved going to Peterborough now and not losing. If we get a draw, I think that's a fantastic result. We all want to win. Obviously, and it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a fantastic game. We're on about being nervous now and tense now. What's Monday going to be in front of the cameras? We're going to be on edge, aren't we? So I mean, it's a huge game. But no, I mean, if we keep this up, and we've got a really hard run, and we've had a few hard games, and we've come out we've done really well, and if we keep this up, this is going to be promotion. I'm in the camp as well. Nick Barnes was in on Thursday on the preview pod. I just think we're going up now. I'm really, really confident. Maybe too confident, but it's the best feeling I've had in a long, long time about this club. So let's keep it up, really.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the form and the potential ramifications of all 3 results today? Obviously, everyone is in the same position they were before kick-off, Mike. But do you think that coming from behind is the really crucial thing about this result in the long term? Yeah,
and I mean, it was Andy mentions Nick Barnes the other day, and it was something he said as well. We're doing things that we weren't doing under previous managers, beating Joey Barton. You just said today, coming from behind. Kind of hoodoos that we had before are not part of this team. This team don't care about that. This is a new Sunderland team. We're playing with a confidence I haven't seen in years, as Ant said. It's great to see. I really am worried about any other teams at the moment, to be honest. I just think we're on such a good run of form. I think any game we go out, even Monday, I'm not really worried about Peterborough. I think if we play our game, we have a very strong chance that we can win the match. So I mean, yeah, I'm the same boat. I can't believe I'm saying this. I think we're going to go up this year, and we'll sing it. Let's go with
I
it.
mean, that's the first time we've beat Oxford at home as well in
Yeah,
League One. So it's just these hoodoos
yeah.
that are going out the window, about week by week by week, aren't they? Like we've won at Wembley, we beat Joey Barton, we beat Fleetwood, beat Burton for the first time in
It
League
just seems
One.
it's written in the stars, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
everything's
like the copybook's going out the window
yeah.
every week with us, and it can only, like I say, and we've got players to come back. We've got Denver Hume and Bailey Wright to come back, who I'm sure will improve the side. So we're in a very, very good position. It's now important to kick on now and finish the job really.
Absolutely. I mean, I think resilience and steel and that kind of belief was evident today.
Yeah.
At no point did we look like we weren't going to go on and win the game ultimately. I mean, there was maybe a period in the first half where they were a bit on top, but you're going to get that. They're no mugs, Oxford.
Yeah, decent size,
They're actually
decent
decent
size,
side,
yeah.
and there's some decent talented players in there. But we coped. So let's go into the player ratings then. I'll be all traditional, and I'll take Lee Burge. Not very much to say about Lee Burge today. He had a couple of touches of the ball, smothered a couple of loose balls in the box. I think there was one just after half time where it came from a corner and they didn't get a good connection on it, but he secured the ball really nicely and he was alert because he'd hardly touched the ball before that. But, when a player doesn't have that much to do, it's the standard six, it's the starting six, because it really wasn't involved in the game at all. So 6 for Burge. I'll come to you, Mike, for Conor McLaughlin. He was on until 66, but don't know, what did you have to say about him?
Yeah, I always seem to get Conor McLaughlin. I always seem to say the same thing when I get him. Steady Eddie.
It's the Irish like Mike, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. He linked up well with Jones at times. I think he got a yellow card in the first half for a tackle on Hansen, which wasn't great. But other than that, steady again. Some nice crosses in. I just have down. He never seems to play badly. I think he's reliable. Another standard 6. You're never going to get a bad game from him. He does his job well. So another decent performance from him today.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. So, and you've got Cal McFadzean.
Yeah, I've gone for a 6 for McFadzean. I thought, I agree with what Mike said about Shadipo in the first half. I thought he had him on toast really, but I'm not overly sure it's all McFadzean's fault because he needed help
agree.
and McGeady didn't give him that help. In the second half, I actually thought he defended excellently. When we were under pressure, he was really, really good. And what has been missed, I think, was just before the Luke 09 header, McFadzean made a superb sliding tackle on the edge of the box to stop them from breaking through. And that was really, really good. And I just think every week now, he is sort of looking more comfortable. And we're not saying these things about him, what we were saying, 3 or 4 weeks ago, where he did stick out like a sore thumb, So I've given him a solid 6. I nearly give him a 7, but just for the first half performance, he probably doesn't deserve that much. But yeah, I thought he was, again improved. So, and it'll give Lee Johnson a headache whether to bring Hume back in, and he doesn't need to rush Hume back in, which I think is good now with McFadzean showing a little bit more form, which is good.
I can't disagree. Yeah, it's a 6.5 from me.
Yeah.
I thought he grew into the game as well.
He did.
And ultimately, the lad Shadipo got taken off towards the end of the game, and he hadn't in the end managed to beat him that often. So I'll take Luke 09. I had him as a 6 at half time. I thought he was a bit shaky in the first half. He grew into the game. I'd not bumped him up to a 7, and then he got an extra mark at the end of the game for basically securing us the points with that header at the back post on 91. So I've given him an 8, just because it's vital moments like that that are really important in a season. So I'm gonna give you Dion Sanderson, Mike.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit of a mixed bag from Sanderson today. I thought he looked shaky at times, especially in the second half, but he did have some decent clearances. Distribution was kind of 50-50, another mixed bag, but Taylor and Shadipo, especially in the first half, as we've mentioned a couple of times, were a serious handful for the two centre halves, and they were putting them under a lot of pressure, and that's kind of where the poor distribution came from, just from the pressure that Oxford are putting us under. But I think, again, he got better as the game went on, like 09 and McFadzean. I think everyone got more comfortable in the defence as the game went on. Maybe Oxford tired a little bit, I'm not sure. But obviously when they went down to 10 men, he was more comfortable on the ball. He was coming out of defence with it. And overall, it was a solid performance. He was okay, a 6, maybe 6.5.
I think that might be a little bit harsh. So on the
Okay.
ball, he was great. But there you go. I mean, let's if you have a quick look at Matty's done the ratings on the website, and he's gone for a 7. So there's that spread of 2 marks between me, Matty, and yourself on Dion Sanderson. But it's a game of opinions. And so, what was your opinion on Max Power then, Ant? The goal scoring sensation at the end of the game.
Again, probably game of 2 halves. I thought first half he was poor, to be honest, and like I've mentioned before, I think he should have took that yellow card to break their goal up. He had the chance to bring the player down, and it's a clever yellow card, and it's probably what you need to do there. But he didn't do it. And I was kind of thinking I want Winchester on at half time, probably for Power, but second half he improved and led us to the 3 points really. Quickly won the midfield battle again in the second half. That might have been down to Oxford being down to 10 men, but he looked more comfortable on the ball, as the whole team did, to be totally honest with you. And got a really nice goal, really took the finish well, and gets an extra mark for being a complete shithouse in front of their bench. So,
What a celebration.
Yeah,
He got a yellow for that, didn't he?
He gets a yellow card and an extra point from me for that, you know what I mean? So he's got a 7 for that one. Yeah, I love stuff like that, Rich, honestly. Yeah. Absolutely love stuff like that. So, and if any time, someone does something like that, he'll go up in my estimations, so I thought that was excellent.
Great. So I've got Josh Scowen. I thought he got bypassed in the first half, was a bit better in the second, where he was a little bit higher up the pitch. Still want to see him do more around the box. I don't know what it is. I've got this feeling that there's a player who can bang one in from a decent distance.
He needs a goal, definitely. He needs a goal, yeah.
But I mean, he didn't do much wrong, and I give him the standard 6. So, Mike, you've got another very mixed bag of a player in this game, Lyndon Gooch, who we've discussed at length already.
Yeah, I mean, I have written down first half an hour, very underwhelming. Couldn't get into the game. He just wasn't linking the play up between midfield and Charlie Wyke at all. And that left Wyke isolated, I think, for the whole of the first half. He just couldn't get into the game. Obviously, I think I have to mention it, 27 minutes in, he took a shot that didn't even go out for a throw, and I don't know what happened there. I was looking at this going, this is just not his day today. But in fairness, obviously, probably the goal helped him for the whole of the second half, probably gave him the confidence. Much better second half, much better crossing. He was taking the players on when he was in that full back row. So much more to come from this guy. I just really want to see some consistency from him. But overall, it was actually turned out to be a really kind of good day from him. I've actually given him a 7.5 for that second half performance, just because I think he was so prominent and integral to how we changed the game.
I think that's a really fair score. I think Matty's been very harsh on the website, giving him 5.5. I don't know if maybe that was his half-time score that is left in there.
Yeah. Do you not think, though, long term, that he's a better sort of right wing back?
Yeah,
because I always think his best performances for us are in that position. He's not a 10. Because he's not
sort of when the game's in front of him, when he can run into the space, it suits him much better than being in the 10 when he kind of is back to the play.
Yeah. When he's the overlapping player, he looks really dangerous. He can get that extra yard in front of his man. He got some great balls in to the box, I think, in the latter stages. And obviously his pass to McGeady won us the game. So McGeady is with you, Ant.
Yeah, again, poor. I thought he was, to be honest, probably our worst player in the first half. I had him as a 4 in the first half. I thought he was... As we've just mentioned, he didn't give McFadzean any help, but he got the ball. I didn't think he did much with it. So I thought if we were going to make a half-time sub, he'd be the one to come off. And I'm just glad that Lee Johnson has a bit more patience than what I've got, because again, second half he was excellent. Lovely finish for the goal. If you watch it back, he just guides it into the box like only Ian McGeady can do. On a sub note, he was actually watching my Sunderland play yesterday, because his kid plays for our development side. So he was there. And, he must have been watching one of our lads do exactly the same, because we scored a goal very similar. So, I'm not taking any credit for it, mind Gage, it was all you. But yeah, grew into the game as well as what I think was like, it's pretty much what all of Sunderland 11 did. We grew into it, and by the end of it, he was looking very, very good, and another goal for him, which is great. So I've given him a 7.
Great. I think that's a fair enough mark. I've got Jordan Jones again. Although he was at the centre of everything that went well, I'm getting people going 10 on the Skype here. There was a few poor deliveries in the first half, which is why he hasn't got a 10. But he was at the centre of absolutely everything that we did well. His driving runs, he did a driving run inside on 9 minutes, which I think terrified the life out of their defenders. And then he was drawing fouls. He was incredibly influential across the park. I thought he was brilliant. I think the fact that he got took off on 76 bodes well for the fact that he'll be playing next time. He didn't look like he was limping off injured. It looks like that was a planned substitution, a premeditated substitution. What can you say? I mean, that bit of skill, genius, just before half time has got us back into that match. I've given him a 9, and I'll stand by it, because I thought he was absolutely excellent. So we come to Charlie Wyke for you, Mike.
Yeah, and I was just kind of mentioning about Gooch there, how he kind of left White isolated because we just couldn't link the midfield and attack. I don't particularly feel like it was his fault for his kind of struggles in the first half. I just think we just couldn't get him into the game, and probably credit to Oxford for that as well. Actually, you need to know there's a serious amount of good defensive clearances, which are nearly as important that he offers to us than his headers in the other box. There was a few of them in the first and second half, which were key. He got better as the game went on. Again, I think it was just the story of this team today. When Ross Stewart came on, it probably helped him a lot. There was a bit more link-up play between the two. And he put in a really good cross for Stewart, who nearly scored with his first touch. Probably not his best game. Kind of struggled a little bit in the first half, but it wasn't a bad performance. I have Wyke down for a 6 today.
So, I think that's a little bit harsh, given the fact that he got that lovely assist at the end of the game,
because defense splitting pass for Max.
It was and the defensive clearances, which, as you say, Mike, went all the way. No, it's your mark. It's your mark. But yeah, I mean, I've got him down as a 7, and just a quick look at what Matty's got him down as well, which is a 7 as well. So maybe it's between a 6 and a 7. I'll quickly run through the subs. Ross Stewart came on 66 minutes. He had a chance immediately. He seemed to really unsettle the defence. I give him a 6. Maguire came on 10 minutes later. I thought he did really well on the right, combining with Gooch, but he gave the ball away cheaply. He always looks like he's going to give a foul away in a silly area. I've given him a 6 on balance, and then Grant Ledbetter came on 86 minutes. Not really fair to give him a mark, but I thought he did steady the ship to a certain extent. So before we rate Lee Johnson, let's choose our man of the matches then. And who have you gone for man of the match?
Jordan Jones. That was absolutely superb. I'd have probably given him a 10 today. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. And if we can keep him fit, I mean, like, he is terrorised. Every game he plays, he's terrorising the fullback. Yeah. And he's unbelievable. Such quick and directness. I mean, I've not seen a player like that for us for a long time, who's actually got pace, directness, and a quality ball and a quality finish on him. He's literally got the full bag. He's got the whole shebang, really. And a player who I really would like to see us sign, but I think we'll struggle because there's going to be a lot of teams after him the way he's playing. I thought it was a perfect performance. It was absolutely superb, and nearly scored one of the goals of the season with that strike before he came at the bar.
All about it.
Yeah, fantastic effort that. And I was screaming at him to put the ball out wide for Gooch, and he whacked the bar. So I thought he was very, very good, and credit to him and credit to Johnson for not sticking with him when we're chasing a goal to try and win the game, and he brought him off, which I thought was excellent management by Lee Johnson, to be honest. But yeah, he got a full 10 for me. You know, I just love seeing exciting players, you know, and someone who can actually, you know, deliver a great ball, and he was fantastic today, you know. So yeah, Jordan Jones.
Any disagreement, Mike?
No, I echo everything Ant said there. I can't really add much more. He was absolutely fantastic today. Again, as Ant said, his directness just causes so many problems. If defenders are shitting themselves when they see him coming at them, like, he's just so good. No, Jones be man of the match for me today. He was the key man for us. But I do want to give a mention to Gooch just for his second half performance. I think he was just as good than Jones was in the second half. Gooch was very prominent and integral for us getting into that game. So I think man of the match for Jones, but a special mention for Lyndon Gooch for that second half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. Really quickly, lads, Lee Johnson, I've given him... I gave him an 8 and then we got the third. And so I'm going to give him a 9 because, you know, we came back from a losing position and won the game 3-1. And I don't think you can argue with the manager and his motivation and his tactics and his changes when that's the result that you get from that position. So, yeah, any other marks for Lee Johnson then?
I've gone exactly the same based on two massive things. He moves Gooch to right back and brings Stewart on, which ultimately we looked more comfortable then, and we looked as if we were going to score more goals. And for not giving Jordan Jones the 90 minutes and for being clever and bringing him off when you know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even I mean, balls. I don't know if it was 1-1 or 2-1. I can't quite remember. It might have been 2-1. We might have scored the second goal. But it's very easy to leave him on because he would have given you that outlet when we're counter-attacking. And that's risking an injury for a bloke who's just come back from injury. And I thought that was really, really clever management and shows what Grant Ledbetter said at Wembley. He actually cares about the welfare of the players. You know, where you could have easily just read, oh, fuck it, I'm keeping him on. You know, he looked at Monday and went, right, we need to bring him off. Superb management.
Yep. Your mark, Mike?
Yeah, 8 as well. As everything Ant said, and yourself, excellent. Again, he made the right decisions. The only mark I have is just for isolating McFadzean in the first half. I think he could have maybe protected him a little bit better. But other than that, is it like his decisions in terms of bringing Gooch into the fullback? It was actually 1-1 when he took Jones off as well, which I think was the most impressive part because he was our most, I suppose, our most threatening player, and he took him off, which I was like, what is he doing? Like, we need to win this game. But I mean, he obviously knows better than me. So no, another good day for Lee Johnson. 8 out of 10 as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, it was another fantastic victory for Sunderland on what is a really big weekend for the club overall. The ladies are back in action for the first time in a few months on Sunday at the Academy of Light against Sheffield FC, the original Sheffield FC, which is a really, really big game for them. Well, the oldest football club in the world.
Yeah, best of luck to the lasses on that one as well.
Yeah, so absolutely. I mean, big luck to Mel Ray and Keir Ramshaw and the rest of the girls in the FA Cup. They're a couple of games away from a massive encounter with Man United, probably. So that'll be wonderful to see them get a result on Sunday. And then obviously the men have got that huge game on Sky on Monday night, and we'll be back after that. Thank you all for listening, and away the lads.